Hi, my name is Andrew Kinnear, and I'm the founder of Freebruary. Thanks for joining us for this limited interview series with entrepreneurs from across Canada. I hope you enjoy it.
Good morning. My name is Julie. I am the founder of Zambonelli Fine Foods, and I'm making a product called Dukkah, which is an Egyptian nut and spice mix.
Well, Julie, thanks for joining us today. It's great to have you on the series. You look like you're in your kitchen. Whereabouts are you located?
I'm in Leslieville.
Leslieville in Toronto, in Ontario.
In Toronto, Ontario, yes.
Great.
The east of the Don Valley in Toronto.
And is Toronto where you manufacture this product as well?
Yes. I've been making it up at Manning Canning Kitchens. I'm sure a lot of people in Toronto are making their products there.
Why don't you tell me a bit about Dukkah and how it started and where it comes from?
Okay, well, I first discovered Dukkah when I was in Australia, and there it seems to be in the grocery stores everywhere, the shelves of it. And they use it as, originally it's a Middle Eastern street food. So it's a mixture of nuts and spices. And the idea, what you do is you'll get some bread, you dip it in some olive oil, and then you dip it in the Dukkah, and then it sticks. And that's your kind of quick street snack. And when I got back to Canada, Toronto, I was looking for it and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I started making it for myself and for friends. And then I started doing little Christmas boutiques and stuff. And then I decided a couple of years ago, I should just start making it. Because my background is in food styling. I've been a food stylist for over 20 years. So I know the food trends and what's happening. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting that with all the Middle Eastern trends, you've got za'atar and harissa and all these other spices. And Dukkah sort of missed the boat somehow. So I decided to give it a go and try making it myself.
That's amazing. And it seems like it would be a great addition to like a charcuterie board, just to add texture. Can you tell us a bit about just like the ingredients, the manufacturing, like what goes into it? You mentioned nuts.
Yeah. So what makes this unique is that it's nuts and spices as opposed to just a spice mix or just ground nuts. So they all have cumin and coriander and sesame seeds. And I have 3 different flavors. I've got a hazelnut with green peppercorns and fennel, and an almond with sumac, and a pistachio with pink peppercorns. And I buy all the nuts and seeds whole, and I roast and grind everything myself. Amazing. So it's, I don't know if you can see, so it's a rough texture. Mm-hmm. Like it's not a smooth thing. So it does add crunch and texture to stuff. And I call it kind of like the bits and bites of Middle Eastern stuff, where every mouthful is different because it is chunky and it's not a smooth thing. Every mouthful is slightly different because you get a different hit of stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it would be something to, have in the kitchen, ready to just sprinkle on a salad or into a dish, or even to finish, like when you're plating your dish and you want visually, you want your dish to have that texture and a little bit of crunch. Do people use it like that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay. And that's what I have here. So this is like, it's amazing on avocado toast, eggs and avocado. So just take a sprinkle, you'll sprinkle it on. There's a bit of cream cheese back there too. And then, like you say, it'll just add, flavor and texture and that little bit of crunch. It's really good. And, if you can just basically I keep it beside the salt and pepper. So if you use salt and pepper, you can use Dukkah, great on salads, like you say, on salads and on pasta.
Yeah,
I use it as a coating.
I was just thinking like I have the, a big salt and pepper grinders that I add texture with pepper, but I could be adding it with spices and seeds and nuts as well. Me, I have another allergy, but we could find the right one. So that's amazing. Now, why don't you tell me a bit about how you went from this is a great idea, you've spotted the trend, to I'm going to start a business. I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm going to make this stuff and actually sell it. Can you tell us about that journey?
Yeah, that's been an interesting one, a little more complex than I realized. So I originally it was the market and feasibility course at Food Starter. That was like the fall of 2018 when Food Starter was still
around.
Starter.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was down at George Brown, and it was a 12-week course, introduced, telling you all of the different things about starting a product, running a business. And yeah, so then I started, and because I've been in the food industry for years, I used my connections. I got one of the art directors to design my label. And so I sort of was a bit ahead of the game in that respect. And yeah, so then I finished that, and I incorporated and got my packaging done. And again, I decided to go with a glass jar and tin lid, sort of trying to keep it as environmentally good as possible. And it's a nice wide jar, so if you want, you can stick your hands in.
Yeah.
You use a spoon. It's not one of these, a little thing. I mean, a shaker jar would be good, but
well,
and then
dipping your fingers in there to grab like a pinch seems like part of the experience of the product too. So having it on the kitchen counter next to the salt and pepper, as you say, it's a beautiful jar, so you're not embarrassed to have it right on the counter, that works to your advantage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think a lot of people actually eat spoonfuls out of the jar. I've heard that.
Hey, when something tastes good, let people do what they want, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So that's how I got started. And then it's just been, and I joined, I have to say, I did join the Canadian Women in Food group, and they've been really great to help along with, the different aspects of running a business, I think.
Amazing. And where are you selling the Dukkah? Is Dukkah your only product from Zambonelli Fine Foods?
It is right now.
Okay.
I do make small batches. I call it Dukkah Pop. I don't have any, but it's caramel corn with Dukkah, which is really dangerous. And that is sold at McEwen's at the Don Mills shops. So they have both the spices and the Dukkah Pop. And I sell it through on my website, which is zambonellifoods.com. And there's recipes and stuff on that. And Dukkah Zambonelli is my Instagram. So you can get ideas and stuff there as well. It's at a little store called the Side Kitchen on Queen Street East here. And Stanigan's Meat Locker sells it in Kensington. And a few other places, a few online things, Toronto Market Company, and manage my groceries. And so right now it's small, it's not I don't have a huge retail range, but I'm sort of just working on that now. It's been tough with COVID.
Yeah.
Because of, I can't sample. So, I mean, when I was sampling, when I first started, as soon as people tasted, they'd buy a jar. So it's just been a little challenging that way. But now that things are lifting, I'm going to get back out into this, stores and get into a few more retail spots. And Canadian Women in Food does sell it on their website, I think wholesale. They have their Gifts of Goodness boxes that's in.
I mean, you mentioned sampling. That's one of the reasons why we started Freebruary was awareness and trial is so critical for new brands. And with the pandemic, it became really hard for people to become aware of new brands and then to sample them. So finding a way to, get consumers to see and try new brands, that was sort of the raison d'etre. So
that's a great idea. Oh, and I'm also going in for the National Women's Show in May.
Oh, congrats. That'll be great.
So I'll have a booth there with the Canadian Women in Food.
That'll get a lot of exposure to, I would assume, the perfect audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. What's next for 2022 other than the women's show?
Oh, Probably a few more markets. Like I said, I'm going to try and focus on more retail stores
Mm-hmm.
and getting it out, exposing it. Yeah.
Amazing.
I think that's it, not a ton.
Do you still do food styling as well, and you're keeping up with the trends in that respect? I mean, I can see that you've styled your own products.
Yes. Yeah. So I still do food styling.
Amazing.
And so that's kind of nice. So if I can, fit them both in, it's good.
Well, and it keeps you on your toes as far as trends and, meeting other entrepreneurs and just being, tapped into the business. Sometimes having that kind of connection is great for entrepreneurs, having other things going on. So that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Last question for you. If you were going to impart some wisdom onto some other new entrepreneur that was maybe a couple of years behind you, what's something you would tell them, something maybe that you wish somebody told you before you started?
Yeah, I would say try not to get discouraged. I think there's a lot of steps that you don't realize when you're first starting out. Like one of the things I realized with my product, and because it has nuts, I had to have a proper HACCP plan in place. And there's a lot of regulations that I think you don't really know about, but I would say stay the course. There's sometimes, you have kind of a bit down days, but then something comes and it just picks you right back up again. So I think that would be, just try and get through all the logistics of things, because I think that can be the hardest sometimes.
Amazing. Julie, it's been great chatting with you. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to speak with me today. And I look forward to seeing more Dukkah in more places. The product is on the Freebruary website, freebruary.ca. You've got a great deal there, and you're also in all our draws. So all the prize winners will be getting a jar, which is great as well. So that's great to spread that Dukkah across the country.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for doing this.
It's my pleasure.